Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Guys, I'm all the way out here in the Philippines, and even here, we're feeling the repercussions of what Katt Williams just did on Club Shay Shay. Let me tell you, Happy New Year! Oh my lord, it's the biggest story on YouTube over here, and I'm sure it's pretty much the same everywhere on the planet right now. Not only because of the things he said, of who he said them of, and confirming a lot of suspicious that a lot of us had regarding the industry. Now, there's many stories that he tells in this interview, and I think it's going to propel not only him to another level when it comes just to being a comedian and performer, maybe now more behind the scenes, because there's no way that the Hollywood elite are going to give him any projects now, because they're gonna be like, this guy's gonna come over here and just snitch on us, right? But he's done well for himself, according to him. And it was funny when he said that, when you look up his net worth and he's looking, that's what I had on me. Because if you just look it up on Bing, for example, it's 2 million. There's a lot of Bing over here, by the way, guys. It's 2 million. So he says he far exceeds that and what have you, and whatever. It's neither here nor there to the context of a lot of things that he was saying, and of all these stories that he said, right, which quite a few exposing people, stealing material, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, he's talked extensively about him. If you're a Katt Williams fan like I am, you've known this for a while. But the one story that he told regarding, these comedians sitting around Harvey Weinstein, and the whole issue was going to be who was going to get violated there, right? And he was kind of surprised that he's the only guy saying, no, I'm not getting I'm not getting sucked off by this dude, and he's not putting his hands on me. And what did you guys do to get here? Because I ain't doing it, right? And ever since you put any kind of condition in, he's not the only actor, specifically black actor, who has said this, that once he didn't want to do certain things. Chappelle has said this, of people wanting him to put on a dress. He doesn't want to put on a dress. And him, for example, putting his foot down as far as saying, and next Friday after next, I'm not going to, I'm not going to get raped, in the scene, and I'll make the movie funnier. Is all these evil things that we hear about Hollywood are brought to bear here in these stories. Can you imagine going anywhere for a job, knowing that the only way that you are going to get that job as a man is to either get sucked off by another man, or performing a sexual act on another man, or whatever? Whatever they want to do with you, you are going to have to do in order to get that job, in order to become a performer. They say power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that's what's happened to Hollywood many times over. We've heard it back in the 50s with females. Producers would do a lot of what couch casting, they used to call it, or whatever. And then eventually it came to men, and for some reason, right, it's prominent, because a lot of black actors have complained about this. It's been on black men that these Hollywood elites have focused on to do this, and it's mostly, from the stories they tell, it's mostly white guys trying to do this to them. It is just freaking unbelievable. And if you don't follow their program, right, number one, you're not going to get any work. If you did follow the program and you get to the next levels, whatever those next levels are, right, if you do sell out to these bastards and you do have relations with them, or you do put on the dress, and you do whatever they say, they can end you at any moment, right? And he gave example after example on how they can do that, right? Marvel just did it, and there's many other instances. He talked about Michael. He's talking about Chris Tucker being on Epstein Island. Chris Tucker, Jesus, I'm telling you, this interview is going to have seismic repercussions throughout the industry, because now we're going to look sideways at a lot of these guys. Steve Harvey, for example, is a likable figure out there. Family Feud, his show, a lot of inspirational stuff out there. But when Mr. Cooper, right, accuses him of stealing his jokes, of stealing his material, of stealing his show, when he's right, he's not BSing. But Mr. Cooper's nowhere to be seen, right? He's gone. He's away from anything. He's not getting any shine anymore. And apparently when this guy was saying he was broke, Mr. Cooper was paying him 3Gs to perform. So the story's fake. These guys are actors, right? And we believe them. We buy into these things. And so much of it is fake. And what these guys have done to get to the positions that they're in, right, is absolutely nuts. Now, Kevin Hart may be many things, right? A funny man, stand-up comedian, whatever you want, right? And this latest one, what is he, like an action hero? No, he's not. Come on, right? But he put himself in that position. However he did it, hard work, whatever, right? But if 10% of what Katt is saying is true, you're still going to look at this guy sideways and go, how did you get this done? I mean, you're funny. You ain't that funny. You're not that funny. You're definitely not handsome, right? With the amount of cheating this man has done, he's still on the platform. Anybody else, right, would have been gone. Anybody else would have been gone. But he's still there. These guys are still there. And these rumors, these stories, this all behind the scene, the stuff that he said, that these guys end up with wives that are weird looking, that will never make an interview in 20 years, is still the truth, or still marry women that think like men. I mean, and he says that applies to 7 individuals. It makes you think. I mean, I'm not saying that 100% of everything he said was true, but I'm sure most of it is true. And just that being true makes the whole situation completely mind-blowing, that these guys have to go through this crap in order to do this. Chappelle didn't do it. This guy didn't do it. I'm sure other guys that aren't famous, are out there struggling because they didn't do it. And the faces we're seeing on screen now, the supposedly funny people, they absolutely did it. And you can see how their lives are turning out. I guess it's time to pay, right? The truth always comes out. And we're going to know how much of this stuff is true, and how people react that have been mentioned on this, show, is going to tell us a lot of what actually is true and what isn't true. We need a Katt Williams here in the YouTube community, in the retro YouTube community, to tell us exactly what's going on with these a-holes. Because I'm telling you, some of this stuff has to be going on behind the scenes. Guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.